All right. Good morning, Tracy. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you so much for meeting with me this morning. I know we chatted a little bit previously to this call. So, why don't you start off by talking to me a little bit about your previous work history? And let's start with McArthur Dairy. So, you were there for quite some time. Can you tell
Mhm.
me, where you started and where you ended and kind of like what you did in between?
Sure. I started as a data entry clerk. So at that time, we had to put everything in the computer by hand, invoices, loads, returns, so to the customers. So I started there. I got a promotion to office manager, and I was over about four people in the office. We did all the school calls, so all the orders for the schools. We handled any complaints, any issues, and I did that for about 2 years. I got a promotion to the computer. It was called the computer department back then, where we ran reports. We cons- they it was it was a while ago, but we ran a bunch. We did a lot of reports. We actually had the gigantic computers that were like refrigerators. So it was a little while ago, but and I did that for a few years. Then I got up the promotion to a pricing coordinator. So that was a database about 5,600 customers. Um, it was like Target and Walmart's and Publix's. We would send out monthly pricing to them. So we had to generate the prices, look at the costs for the next month, and just let them know what the cost was going to be. We send out price lists, invoices. We updated the system when they had price changes. I'm sorry, and
That's
also
okay.
customer changes. Um, any kind of address changes,
Okay.
among other things. Then we generated reports to give them to the vice presidents and the managers and the salesmen so they can take them out to the customers.
Okay. And you mentioned when we had chatted beforehand, you had some experience with payroll, and you were using ADP, and it was roughly about 45 people you were doing that payroll for as well, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
And was that weekly or biweekly payroll?
it was weekly.
It was weekly. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then from there, you went into being a preschool teacher.
Yes.
So talk to me a little bit about that and what your day looked like.
Okay. In the preschool department, I actually had got my training from Nova Southeastern University, and I was doing that while I was working at McArthur Dairy. So I did it nights and weekends because I really wanted to do something different, something that made a difference. Um, so during that time, how my day looked like, that was the question. So in the morning, we'd come in, we'd greet the children, they'd have breakfast, then we'd have a circle time. And all of it was we would use the class, which is classroom assessment scoring. So we would be using a lot of open-ended questions to get the kids' vocabulary.
Okay.
So to get them to speak more, because this was younger kids and they needed and not just crying when they needed something or wanted something. We would actually talk to them.
Hmm.
And as we would talk and go back and forth, that would expand their vocabulary.
Sure.
So during circle time, I mean, throughout the day, this would happen. So through circle time, then we would go outside and play. They would use their gross motor skills. So they're running, they're playing, they're swinging. We'd have slides outside for them.
Okay.
Um, I don't know if you wanted the whole day,
No,
but also,
just kind of like
yeah,
some key points. I mean, were you developing a curriculum?
yes, we actually
Okay.
did lesson planning. We
Okay.
used creative curriculum, which
Okay.
is how we followed, um, which included everything from rhyming to writing to
Okay.
early emergent reading. So every day they would be somebody we would read to them. I mean, at this age, reading was so important. Um, so we used the creative curriculum. They would come in and have lunch at the end, after outside time, and then they would have a nap time.
Okay.
All this, I mean, this is a regular, probably childcare. They would go through a schedule. There's a schedule that we follow.
Sure.
And then it would be more manipulatives and hands-on, arts and crafts and building. And so that would strengthen their skills. Their gross motor, their fine motor would be
Mhm.
writing, cognitive is thinking.
Mhm.
So, and they would also be social emotional. So that was a big deal at that age,
Yes,
because they
absolutely.
would, yeah, because getting along with their friends, because they have
Yeah.
to learn to share. That would be later, but at least parallel play, so they could play side by side would
Right.
be good.
Right.
So all that was, we were teaching them by example, not
Mhm.
just by words.
Okay, perfect. And what was there was it a full day or was it like a I'll just say like a 9 a.m. to a 2 p.m. or was it more of like a 9 to 4?
Okay, my hours were different, but that school was open from 7 in the morning to 6 at night.
Okay.
So there would be two different teachers coming in. We'd overlap at a certain time,
Okay.
and then one would open, one would close per
Okay.
classroom. Mhm,
Perfect. Awesome.
mhm.